Okay, Shalom, this is Chacham Melech Ben Yaakov of Karaite Insights. And again, really, I think I said this at the beginning of every video, but I'm enjoying this format. I'm going to give a quick message right now. I don't want to overdo it, but there's a lot on my mind. So whoever listens, listens. Whoever doesn't listen, doesn't listen. So we were talking about good versus evil, and we look at the world around us, and there is a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of amazing people. There are a lot of good people. The average person I meet, seems to be a good person, has a good heart. But there's a lot of evil in the world, and it seems that the higher up you go in the control and power structure of the world, the more evil people are. Let's see, does that work? Yeah, I guess that kind of works. So the higher up in the power structure you go, the more evil the people are. So you have the people who are the heads of corporations, the politicians, the people in the media, a lot of celebrities, Hollywood people. These people seem to be truly evil. Not all of them, but many of them. They're completely moved away, or they've completely moved away from the ways of Yehovah, and they seem to have embraced the ways of paganism, the ways of perhaps Satanism, of the occult, of all kinds of horrible things. And this has been spoken about by many people, but Alex Jones happens to be my favorite, who speaks about it, and he's really, over the past couple of years, opened my eyes to a lot of things. But we see evil all around us, and we see that the world seems to be in the grips of evil people. Okay, and I just want to again give a couple examples of how I see evil, because we don't even realize how the evil is around us, how bad and people can be. And again, let's go over what is the definition of evil. The definition of evil is basically the lack of control of impulses, whereby if one is confronted with the choice of their desires versus the choice of what is right or wrong, the evil person will run after his desires, whereas the good person will temper his desires, not eliminate them. Again, I always say we're not Christians, we're not ascetics here, but will temper his desires based on what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so the lust after things like money, power, control, fame, fortune, that really kind of hits some of the main ones. Maybe sex, food. All of these lusts, if they're not kept in check by the mind, by the soul, by the spirit, then they create a person who has no sense of right and wrong, who has no sense of God, and will do anything to achieve his desired ends. And it doesn't matter who he hurts along the way, how many people he hurts. In fact, he doesn't even give a shit about people, because some of these people, some of these evil people have already decided very early on in childhood that the only thing that's worth caring about is me. Nothing else matters except me. Maybe they've been treated wrongly, and they came to it at a certain point and said, the world sucks and everyone deserves to die, and so I won't give a shit about anyone. I'm only going to give a shit about me, right? Maybe they went through some kind of horrible trial and tribulation. They decided God doesn't exist, so why should I even bother doing good? I'm just going to do what's best for me, because God's never going to save me anyway. God doesn't even exist. That's all a myth. That's all baloney. To even say that God exists. I'm going to turn this light off. So for whatever reason, there are many people who come to these very sick conclusions in life, and then they decide that they're going to go after whatever their lusts dictate that they go after, which usually often means money, control, influence, power. To be in the crowd, to be hanging out with the right people. All of these are desires. So. And these desires, manifest themselves in so many ways that they're innumerable, and we're so blind to them, we're so used to them that we don't even realize it anymore. So one of the things I want to do is I want to point out it's going to sound silly almost, but some little ways in which I realized today, it just happens to be today, every day I realized a lot of different things. I gave you the example of police stops, where the government basically just steals the money of poor citizens under the guise of road safety, under the guise of enforcing laws and doing justice. What a load of crap. It's all about stealing the money out of the pockets of citizens by gunpoint. Okay, I gave the example of I can't remember what other examples I gave, but I'll give a couple of examples right now. Okay, so I was trying to get a song onto my iPhone, and I realized that there's just no easy way. Okay, I wanted to take it from YouTube. I wanted to rip the song out of YouTube, rip the audio out of YouTube, and then put it on my iPhone. Okay, to use for background for one of my videos. And I realized there's really no way to do it. What do you have to do? You have to end up plugging your iPhone into a computer. Then you have to go to it doesn't matter. It's a whole long process in order to get a song, an MP3, onto your iPhone. Okay. Now, what's the big deal? You might say, that's stupid, right? But it just shows the attitude of greed, right? It shows that basically in a lot of these. In a lot of the apps on the iPhone, you're caged, okay? Like if you're in Facebook and you click on a link, it doesn't take you to Safari and show you the link there. It keeps you in this Facebook browser, okay? Where let's say you were logged into another website, you won't be logged in there, or you're basically within the Facebook world. Facebook wants to keep you within the Facebook world, okay? If you do one of these live videos, it's not easy once it's been posted to export it. Okay, you have to keep it on Facebook, and then you have to send links to Facebook. That's greed, okay? That's greed. The same with YouTube. Okay, if you're in YouTube and you want to post a link or something like that, then well, actually in YouTube you can. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad example. But if you're in Twitter, okay, and you want to copy the tweet that you wrote in the Twitter app and copy it somewhere, it won't let you. Okay, it wants to keep you within the Twitter world. That's a form of greed. Okay, the form of constantly selling you things is a form of greed everywhere you go. Okay, and this comes from the sick materialistic view of the West and of America, that they're basically this atheist materialistic view that there's nothing outside the world of the physical, and so the only thing that's important is money, profit, right? Basically the religion of America is profit making. You're a good American if you are making profits, and you're a bad American if you are not making profits. It doesn't matter what you do or how many people you hurt along the way, right? But as long as you're making profits, as long as you're selling and upselling and getting the person to buy a little bit more and nickeling and diming him here and there, and I mean, there are just so many tricks. We become numb to it. We think that somehow this is the American way, right? Or this is the way of righteousness and justice, and it's not. It's greed. It's penury. It's the desire to take more money out of each individual's pocket and concentrate it in the pockets of those who are coming up with these plans, or in the hands of let's say these corporations. Okay. So that's an example. I know it sounds silly. I really know it sounds silly. Maybe some of you are looking at this video and saying, it's ridiculous. Who cares? What's the big deal? There's so many bigger problems out there. There are murders and mass murders and rapes and robberies and all this. No, it all starts with the little things, okay? If there is an attitude of greed, if there's an attitude of selfishness, then that will perpetuate eventually, okay, into the rapes, the robberies, the murders, etc., okay? Because it's all a slippery slope that eventually ends up with the most depraved crimes. So, let's see if I can give another example. I just had an example in mind. Yeah, the example that I have in mind is when I make my videos, sometimes I like to put music behind those videos, okay? Now, I've put videos up on YouTube, and then I've come back later and I've seen all of the audio off the video has been erased. Why? Because I used some song, that I'm not paying royalties for. I don't know. Let's say I used, whatever, some song that I liked and I heard. Okay. Now that's greed. That is, again, one might say, oh, you can't take your song without paying for it and blah 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 blah. It's stealing. That's America brainwashing people into thinking a certain way. That's baloney. If someone is using a song for a video that's going to get a couple hundred or even a couple thousand views, to strip the music out, that's just mean. That's just cool. There's no reason for it. If you want to use a song in a commercial that's reaching millions of people or something like that, then maybe I can understand, because you're making a lot of money off it. But if you're just doing your average YouTube video and you want to use a song in the background, I mean, for the companies to prevent you from doing that through basically Google and YouTube are, they're part of that whole same crowd. So they're the ones who implement the technology to strip the music out, or to identify a song that's being used, that is copyrighted, and they always present it as righteousness, justice, and et cetera, but it's not. It's all about greed. And this attitude of greed, this attitude of selfishness, this attitude of just not, how do they say in slang Hebrew, which I think comes from Lifargein, to give someone else a break. What's the big deal? There's such a meanness and there's such a cruelty in Western society, in American society, in Israeli society, that it's actually a rarity to find someone who is not mean and not cruel and not nasty, right? The example I gave this morning when I was speaking was the example of how cruel the newspapers are, right? They'll rip, I think we're back on, okay? They will rip someone's life apart, in the name of, oh, well, the public has a right to know. But really what they're doing is it's just all about greed. It's all about the lust to destroy, the sadistic lust to destroy, the lust for power and control over another person, like like a little mean child that finds like a spider and picks its legs off because it can, or someone who's cruel to animals. It's that same kind of that attitude and that mentality, and it's all over the world. It's in America, it's in Israel. Israelis can be so nasty to each other. The government is so nasty to the people. It's disgusting. I mean, any illusion that Israel is a democracy is just, only idiots would believe that Israel is a democracy. Israel is a military dictatorship that presents itself as a democracy for the consumption of the Western world, to get basically money from the Western world and to align itself with the Western world for money and power. It is disgusting. The state of Israel just disgusts me to no end. At any rate, there's so much meanness, there's so much cruelty, there's so much evil in the world, and a lot of times those who commit the evil disguise it as right. Oh, I'm still on. Okay, the company that speaks in lofty terms about, protecting copyrights and intellectual property is, stripping music off the background of, some little old lady that's, talking about a cupcake recipe or something like that, right? In the name of copyrights, the corporation that, I don't know, I'm out of examples. There's so many. I'll give you an example right now. I'm riding home, okay, and I see all the time that the police will stop, and issue tickets of hundreds of dollars for distracted driving. Okay, if you're using your iPhone or something like that. A lot of times you're just, using your GPS or something like that, right? But look at the hypocrisy. Okay, they're so concerned about distracted driving, but if you ride along the roads in this sick Sodom and Gomorrah known as New York City, not the greatest city in the world, the shittiest, most sickening city on planet Earth, a true Sodom and Gomorrah in modern times. If you're riding along the highways, right, what do you see? You see advertisements all over the place. Sometimes you see television screens pointing at you, right, showing advertisements. Oh, I thought distracted driving was important. Oh, I thought it was such a big deal, that they're giving out hundreds of dollars to keep the public safe from distracted driving. But why do they not take the billboards and the television screens and all this stuff off the sides of the highways pointing at the drivers? Because they make money off it, okay? So they're hypocrites. This is the definition of evil, when you care only about yourself, when it's all for you, when it's all about self-aggrandizement, when it's all about your money and me and me and me and me. And it's everywhere we go, everywhere we look in the world, whether it's in Israel, whether it's in the United States, maybe in other countries as well. Actually I spent time in other countries. I spent time in Morocco, and there the people seemed very nice. I know that maybe I just got a tourist side view, but I was there for a couple of months, and I saw people who were a lot more God-fearing than I saw in America and in Israel. At any rate, I hope the idea is getting across of what I'm trying to say here, and there's so many more examples. Look around you. Open up your eyes. Look around you. See. Think of examples of where the evil is perpetuating itself in ways that you've never thought before. If you pass a McDonald's on the street, think about what they're doing, the crap, the garbage that they're trying to sell to people they're poisoning people with this garbage, quote unquote, food. You know, why? To make money. To make money. So it doesn't matter if you injure somebody, if you make them sick, if you destroy them over time because they're eating this crap, right? It would probably literally be more nutritious to eat dog do off the street than it would to be eating that garbage that they try to pawn off as food. And that is, again, greed, control, power, self-aggrandizement. Me. I don't care who I hurt on the way. I don't care what I do. I don't care, I don't care who is destroyed or who is injured or who is made sick or who is made permanently diseased along the way. It's all about me. And the American way, in the Western way, is the profit. I'm making profits, so I'm a good person. If I don't make profits, I'm an evil person. If I do make profits, I'm a good person. Okay, so look around you, okay? Look at all the evil around you and just take it in. You can't always do everything about it right now. There will come a time, I believe, where Yehovah will make himself evident and he will judge the people who've done good and he will judge the people who've done evil. So look around you, be aware of it, okay? And just take a deep breath and try to say, oh, I never realized that before. That is a manifestation of greed. Oh, that is a manifestation of a desire to control me. Oh, that is a manifestation of a lust after, I don't know, money, a lust after power, a lust after trying to acquire fame. Next time I have to turn on Do Not Disturb Me, okay? And you'll see the evil around you. I don't know, a lot of people say that this generation is like the generation of the flood, that it's that evil. I know, living temporarily, hopefully temporarily, in this city known as New York, this modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, it seems like the generation of the flood to me. There's so much materialism, there's so much greed, there's so much trampling. Each person just tramples on each other. Road rage and the way people treat each other and the way they talk to each other. Are there nice people? Sure, there are nice people, okay? But the evil, the nastiness, the disgustingness just perpetuates itself in every corner. So be aware of it, look out for it, come up with your own ideas of what constitutes. I gave a couple of ideas of my own. Think of your own, post it here, post it under this video, and let me know, and let anyone who's listening to this video and reads the comments know as well. And let ourselves, as followers of Yehovah, stay away from evil and stay to the good and have patience and have faith, okay? And not fall into the trap, not fall into the temptation to follow the easy way out, to follow the path of these evil people who think that they're reaching heaven, but they're just going to end up in hell, right? In Psalms, I think it's Psalm 39, I think so. David speaks about the good person rather than the good person versus the evil person, okay? The good person has faith in Yehovah, and eventually, even though he has to go through lots of trials and tribulations and things seem very dark and very bleak, things eventually work out. He's eventually rewarded and saved and protected and rewarded by Yehovah. And the evil person is just the opposite. Everything seems to be going his way. He seems to be rich and famous and has the big house and the big family and everything. And then suddenly, if he's an evil person, and David uses in a number of his psalms this idea of suddenly, he's suddenly cut off. Okay, you look at the place where where the evil person was, and he will be no more. Suddenly, where was he? He was there yesterday. He's gone today. The evil person is suddenly cut off. Yehovah waits for him to repent, waits and waits and waits. But if he does not repent, then there comes a time where, at least according to Psalms and other books of the Tanakh, many books of the Tanakh, the evil person is suddenly cut off. Okay, so don't fall into the evil. Don't fall into the temptation. This world is only temporary. Anyway, stay the straight and narrow path. Not in the Christian sense. We're not talking about being ascetics or not enjoying life. Enjoy good sex. Enjoy good food. Enjoy the view. Enjoy some of the things I like to do. I can mention, like, I love kayaking and flying my airplanes and doing my skydiving and all this kind of stuff. Enjoy the world, but don't fall into evil. Don't be the person who sees the wallet fall out behind the old man and say, oh, I'll just keep the money for myself, okay? Because that's the definition of evil. When your desires and your lusts take priority over what is right and what is wrong, then that's evil, and that becomes a slippery slope, which eventually just causes a human being, a person, a community, a society, an entire country, an entire nation, entire generation to fall into the worst types of depravity, murder, and robbery and violence and all kinds of horrible things. So I will end it with that. I hope this message has been a good one. I hope this message has been a powerful one. This is something that's constantly on my mind. It gnaws at me. It gnaws at me, this evil that I see around me. And I want so bad to gather a community of good people around me. I don't care what your faith. I honestly don't care. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're atheist. If you're a good person, that's the first criterion. That's the first priority for me. I want to have a community of such people gathered around, and then we can decide what to do, how to wage the war against evil in this world. Whatever form that takes. And maybe it will actually one day, I believe it will actually come to physical war, that the good people of this world will rise up against the evil people that dominate and that control it. So with that in mind, let me wish all the good people blessings from Yehovah. Let me wish all the evil people, please repent. Please think about your ways. Please realize that your life is going to end, whether you're a good person or an evil person. You only have 70 or 80 or 90 years on this earth. So do the right thing, repent. Whatever sins you've done in the past, if you repent, Yehovah is a forgiving God. He will forgive you and come back to the good side. And let me say to those who have done and continue to do nasty things in this world, and continue to hurt people in this world, or hurt the world, or hurt the animals, or hurt whatever the case may be, Yehovah will take his revenge upon you if you do not repent eventually. So with that, I will end it. Wish you all a good evening. This has been Chacham Melech Ben Yaakov of Karaite Insights. You can visit us at www.karaiteinsights.com. Follow us on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. And I wish you good night. Erev Tov.